There is a truth most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. The greatest battles you will ever fight will not be fought against enemies, competitors, critics, governments, or circumstances. They will be fought in silence. They will be fought in the lonely territory between who you are today and who you know you could become. Most people imagine failure arrives like a storm. It does not. Failure arrives quietly. It arrives through small compromises. One postponed responsibility, one abandoned promise, one unnecessary distraction, one moment of weakness repeated so often, then it becomes a habit. Then years pass, dreams fade, potential withers, and a person wakes one morning wondering where their life went. I have observed something about human nature. Men and women can endure astonishing hardship. They can survive poverty. They can survive heartbreak. They can survive rejection. They can survive years of uncertainty. Yet many are defeated by something far smaller. They are defeated by comfort. Comfort is rarely loud enough to be feared. It speaks in a gentle voice. It tells you there will be time tomorrow. It assures you that excellence can wait. It whispers that discipline is unnecessary. And while it speaks softly, it steals decades. The world praises talent. History remembers character. Talent may open a door. Character determines whether you remain standing when the room begins to shake. There was a lesson learned long before any position of leadership was earned. Life does not ask whether you feel ready. Life asks whether you are willing. Willing to continue when progress is invisible. Willing to endure when reward is absent. Willing to stand when every excuse offers you a seat. The strongest people are not those who possess the easiest path. They are those who develop strength while walking difficult roads. A blacksmith does not strengthen steel by protecting it from fire. The steel becomes useful because it enters the furnace. The same is true of the human spirit. The trials you resent may be preparing the strength you will someday require. The disappointments you curse may be shaping the wisdom you have not yet earned. The burdens you carry may be building shoulders capable of carrying far more than you can presently imagine. Yet most people never discover this truth. They spend their lives negotiating with adversity instead of learning from it. They seek shortcuts instead of foundations. They desire results without transformation. And because of this, they remain trapped. Not by circumstance, not by fate, but by their own unwillingness to grow. Mental mastery begins the moment you stop asking why life is difficult and start asking what the difficulty is trying to teach you. That question changes everything, because every setback contains a lesson. Every obstacle contains a decision. Every hardship contains an opportunity hidden beneath discomfort. The disciplined mind sees what the discouraged mind overlooks. The courageous heart finds what the fearful heart never searches for. This is where greatness begins, not in applause, not in recognition, not in achievement. Greatness begins in private. It begins when nobody is watching. It begins when a person decides that their future deserves more than their excuses. And if you can understand that single truth, you possess something more valuable than motivation. You possess direction. The journey toward mastery does not begin with conquering the world. It begins with conquering yourself. And that is where our story truly begins. The tragedy of the average life is not a lack of opportunity. It is a lack of awareness. Most people move through their days as though time were endless. They spend their mornings reacting instead of creating. They spend their afternoons distracted instead of focused. They spend their evenings escaping instead of reflecting. Then they wonder why years pass without meaningful change. The mind becomes whatever it repeatedly practices. Practice worry, and worry becomes your companion. Practice hesitation, and hesitation becomes your identity. Practice discipline, and discipline becomes your strength. This is why the habits of a person matter more than their intentions. Intentions are promises. Habits are proof. Every extraordinary life is built upon ordinary actions, repeated with uncommon consistency. The world often celebrates dramatic moments. History reveals a different story. Great achievements are usually born from quiet routines. Victories are won long before the crowd ever witnesses them. A tree does not become mighty in a single season. Its strength is built ring by ring, year after year, storm after storm. Human character develops the same way. The strongest minds are not formed during moments of comfort. They are forged through repeated encounters with difficulty. There is a reason adversity produces wisdom. Adversity strips away illusion. When circumstances become difficult, excuses lose their power. Pretending becomes impossible. Reality speaks with unmistakable clarity. You discover who you truly are when life refuses to cooperate. You discover what you value when sacrifice becomes necessary. You discover your strength when strength is required. Many people spend years trying to avoid discomfort. Yet discomfort is often the doorway to transformation. The athlete develops strength by challenging muscle. The craftsman develops skill through repetition. The leader develops wisdom through responsibility. Growth requires resistance. Without resistance, there is no development. Without challenge, there is no expansion. Without struggle, there is no mastery. Imagine beginning each day with a single question. Not what the world owes you, not what others should do, but what kind of person you intend to become? That question has remarkable power because it shifts attention away from circumstance and toward character. Circumstances change constantly. Character endures. The weather changes. The economy changes. Public opinion changes. Fortunes rise and fall. But integrity remains valuable in every generation. Courage remains valuable in every generation. Responsibility remains valuable in every generation. The principles that build a meaningful life do not expire. They are timeless because human nature is timeless. Many search for secrets. Few commit to fundamentals. Yet the fundamentals are where greatness lies. Rise with purpose. Speak with honesty. Work with diligence. Keep your word. Control your emotions. Honor your responsibilities. Continue when progress appears slow. These habits seem ordinary. That is precisely why they are powerful. Most people overlook them. Most people search for something easier, something faster, something requiring less sacrifice. Yet lasting success has always demanded the same price: persistence, consistency. The person who masters these qualities gains an advantage no circumstance can easily remove. Because external conditions may influence your life, but they do not have to govern your mind. Mental mastery is not the absence of hardship. It is the ability to remain steady within hardship. It is the ability to think clearly when others panic, to remain disciplined when others surrender, to remain focused when others become distracted. That strength cannot be purchased. It cannot be borrowed. It must be built. And like all meaningful things, it is built one day at a time, one choice at a time, one disciplined action at a time. The turning point arrives when you finally understand that adversity is not your enemy. It is your instructor. And once you accept that lesson, the path ahead begins to look very different. There comes a moment in every meaningful life when a person stands at a crossroads, invisible to everyone else. No crowd gathers. No trumpet sounds. No announcement is made. Yet a decision is waiting. One path leads toward comfort. The other leads toward growth. One promises immediate relief. The other promises future strength. Most people believe their destiny is shaped by rare, life-changing moments. The truth is often far less dramatic. Destiny is usually shaped by the decisions nobody sees. The decision to rise when sleep feels easier. The decision to continue when quitting appears reasonable. The decision to remain honorable when dishonesty offers a shortcut. The decision to do what is right even when no reward is guaranteed. Character is built in those moments, not because they are easy, but because they are difficult. The world has always admired strength, yet many misunderstand what true strength looks like. Strength is not loud. It does not require constant recognition. It does not announce itself at every opportunity. Real strength is quiet. It is the calm voice that remains steady during chaos. It is the disciplined mind that refuses to surrender to emotion. It is the patient spirit that continues moving forward despite uncertainty. There is wisdom in understanding that not every battle deserves your attention. Many people exhaust themselves fighting distractions. They argue over opinions. They chase approval. They become consumed by matters that contribute nothing to their growth. Meanwhile, their most important work remains unfinished. A wise person learns the value of focus. Attention is one of life's most precious resources. Where attention goes, energy follows. Where energy flows, results emerge. Guard your attention carefully. The world is filled with voices competing for it. Some seek to influence you. Some seek to distract you. Some seek to profit from your confusion. Very few seek to strengthen your character. This is why solitude has value. In moments of reflection, the noise begins to fade. The mind becomes clearer. Priorities become visible. Purpose becomes easier to recognize. Many fear being alone. Yet some of life's greatest insights arrive in silence. A person who cannot sit alone with their thoughts often becomes a prisoner of external influences. But the person who learns to think deeply gains a form of freedom that cannot easily be taken away. Freedom is not merely the ability to do as you please. True freedom is the ability to govern yourself, to control impulses, to master emotions, to choose principles over temptations, to direct your actions according to wisdom rather than appetite. This kind of freedom creates extraordinary lives because the individual who governs themselves requires little governance from the outside world. Every day presents an opportunity to strengthen this ability. Every challenge presents an opportunity to practice restraint. Every disappointment presents an opportunity to practice resilience. Every setback presents an opportunity to develop perspective. Nothing is wasted when viewed through the lens of growth. Pain becomes instruction. Failure becomes education. Loss becomes wisdom. Difficulty becomes preparation. The person who understands this no longer fears hardship in the same way. They may not welcome it. They may not enjoy it. But they recognize its purpose. And purpose changes everything. A burden with purpose becomes easier to carry. A sacrifice with purpose becomes easier to make. A struggle with purpose becomes easier to endure. The strongest individuals throughout history understood this principle. They were not fearless. They simply believed their purpose was greater than their fear. That belief carried them through uncertainty. That belief sustained them through setbacks. That belief transformed obstacles into stepping stones. If you wish to build an exceptional life, begin by strengthening the foundation beneath it. Build a mind that remains calm during storms. Build a character that remains honest during temptation. Build a spirit that remains hopeful during adversity. Because achievements may come and go, fortunes may rise and fall, circumstances may change without warning, but a strong character remains. And a strong character becomes the compass that guides every future victory. Once a person understands the value of character, a new question emerges. How does an ordinary life become an extraordinary one? Many imagine greatness as a destination reserved for a fortunate few. They see remarkable leaders, builders, innovators, and visionaries, and assume those individuals possessed something unavailable to everyone else. But history tells a different story. Extraordinary lives are often built by ordinary people who refuse to abandon extraordinary commitments. The difference is rarely talent alone. The difference is endurance. Anyone can begin when enthusiasm is high. Anyone can pursue a goal when conditions are favorable. Anyone can feel confident when success appears certain. The test arrives when uncertainty enters the room. The test arrives when progress slows. The test arrives when effort exceeds reward. That is where futures are decided. Persistence is one of the most misunderstood forces in human achievement. Many assume persistence means moving quickly. In truth, persistence means refusing to stop. A river cuts through stone not because it possesses explosive power. It succeeds because it continues, day after day, season after season, year after year. Its strength comes from consistency. Human greatness follows the same principle. A person does not transform through a single moment of effort. They transform through repeated acts of commitment. The disciplined morning, the focused afternoon, the reflective evening, the promise kept, the responsibility honored, the standard maintained. These actions may appear insignificant when viewed individually, yet over time, they create a life that looks entirely different from the life built on excuses. The future is not created in dramatic bursts. It is created in daily deposits. Every action becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. Every choice contributes to your identity. When you repeatedly choose discipline, you become disciplined. When you repeatedly choose courage, you become courageous. When you repeatedly choose responsibility, you become responsible. Identity grows from behavior. This realization changes everything because it means transformation is available today, not next year, not when circumstances improve, not when motivation appears. Today, the path to greatness does not require perfection. Perfection is often the enemy of progress. Many people wait for ideal conditions before they begin. They wait for confidence. They wait for certainty. They wait for inspiration. Meanwhile, time continues moving forward. The remarkable individuals of history understood something important. Action creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. Progress creates confidence. You do not become ready before you begin. You become ready because you begin. Every meaningful accomplishment starts with imperfect action. Every worthwhile journey begins before certainty exists. Every victory starts long before evidence appears. Faith in your future is not blind optimism. It is the decision to continue working before results are visible. Farmers understand this principle. They plant seeds long before harvest arrives. They prepare soil long before crops appear. They trust processes they cannot yet see. Wise individuals approach life the same way. They invest in habits before rewards emerge. They strengthen character before challenges arrive. They prepare themselves for opportunities not yet visible on the horizon. This long-term perspective separates builders from dreamers. Dreamers imagine possibilities. Builders create them. Dreamers admire outcomes. Builders commit to processes. Dreamers wait for circumstances. Builders improve circumstances. There is profound power in becoming a builder of your own future. Because when responsibility replaces blame, possibility expands. The moment you stop assigning responsibility to the world and begin accepting responsibility for your choices, your influence grows, your confidence grows, your resilience grows, your future grows. This is the road walked by those who leave a lasting mark upon their generation. Not because they possessed extraordinary advantages, but because they developed extraordinary habits. Habits that strengthened their minds. Habits that sharpened their judgment. Habits that deepened their purpose. And purpose, once fully embraced, becomes a force capable of carrying a person farther than talent ever could. The final lesson lies beyond achievement itself. For greatness is not merely about what you accomplish. It is about who you become while pursuing it. In the end, the measure of a life is not found in titles. It is not found in wealth. It is not found in applause, popularity, or recognition. These things rise and fall like seasons. They arrive. They depart. They belong to time. Character belongs to eternity. When the noise of achievement fades, what remains is the person you became while pursuing it. The habits you practiced. The principles you defended. The promises you kept. The burdens you carried with dignity. The struggles you endured without surrendering your integrity. That is the true legacy of a meaningful life. Too many people spend their years chasing outcomes while neglecting the foundation beneath them. They seek success without wisdom, power without discipline, influence without responsibility. Yet history repeatedly teaches the same lesson. Anything built without character eventually collapses beneath its own weight. The strongest foundation a human being can possess is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not even opportunity. It is the ability to govern oneself, to remain honest when deception appears profitable, to remain disciplined when indulgence appears attractive, to remain courageous when fear appears overwhelming, to remain hopeful when circumstances appear dark. This kind of strength changes a person from the inside out. It creates stability during uncertainty, clarity during confusion, purpose during hardship. And purpose is one of the greatest gifts a person can possess. A life without purpose drifts wherever circumstances push it. A life with purpose moves with intention. Every morning becomes meaningful. Every challenge becomes useful. Every setback becomes part of a larger story. Purpose transforms suffering into growth. Purpose transforms effort into progress. Purpose transforms ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities. Consider for a moment the people who have inspired generations. Their lives were not free from difficulty. Many faced rejection. Many experienced failure. Many carried burdens that seemed unbearable. Yet they continued. Not because the road was easy. Not because success was guaranteed. But because they believed something important was worth the struggle. That belief gave them strength when strength was scarce. That belief carried them through storms that would have stopped others. That belief became the bridge between hardship and achievement. The same possibility exists within you. Not because you are destined to avoid adversity, but because you are capable of growing through it. The challenges before you are not proof of your weakness. They are opportunities to discover strength you have not yet fully developed. The obstacles before you are not barriers to your future. They are invitations to become the person capable of creating that future. The next chapter of your life will not be written by luck. It will not be written by circumstance. It will be written by the choices you make when nobody is watching. The standards you maintain when excuses are available. The discipline you practice when comfort calls your name. The courage you demonstrate when fear attempts to control your decisions. Never underestimate the power of a single day lived with intention. A single disciplined day becomes a disciplined week. A disciplined week becomes a disciplined month. A disciplined month becomes a disciplined year. And disciplined years build extraordinary lives. This is how greatness is formed. Quietly, patiently, deliberately. One decision at a time, one habit at a time, one act of courage at a time. So, as you leave these words behind and return to the responsibilities waiting for you. Remember this. You do not need to conquer the entire future today. You do not need to possess every answer. You do not need perfect conditions. You need only the willingness to take the next honorable step, then another, then another. Stand firm when adversity arrives. Remain patient when progress seems slow. Remain faithful to principles when shortcuts tempt you. Guard your character more carefully than your reputation. Protect your purpose more fiercely than your comfort. And never forget that the strongest victories are often won long before the world can see them. For the greatest triumph a person can achieve is not mastery over others. It is mastery over themselves. And when a person achieves that victory, they possess something no hardship can destroy, no criticism can diminish, and no circumstance can take away. They possess the quiet strength of an unshakable character. They possess the discipline to continue, the courage to endure, the wisdom to lead, and the power to transform their life one purposeful day at a time. Thank you for listening. If these words stirred something within you, carry them into action. Let today become the day you stop waiting for a better future and begin building it. The road to greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It belongs to those willing to walk it step by step with courage, discipline, and unwavering purpose.